Kingmore signed up for the Skeletor yet?
Okay, it is 8 a.m. I'll call the meeting to order. It is Wednesday, September 10th. You know, we're looking at the end of summer right now, which is sad, but we'll start. Becky, would you do the roll call, please?
I will. Oh, see, now we don't have the, hold on.
It's right at the top.
No. For those in the audience, we don't have the presentation to share today, but I believe it is on the Zoom, so people at home can still see it, so. Okay, Mayor Tom Graham. Gail Brown.
Here.
Cora Smith. Here. Sarah Ethelbrenner. Here. Scott Cremers.
Oh, there's a mayor right there.
Hi.
Becky, did you print extra agendas?
Yes, they're right there on the edge.
If you have one for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tom.
What are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay, we'll start over. Let's start over.
Okay, we're gonna start over with the roll call. No, that's okay. But I'm not sure if I can. Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Gail Brown.
Here.
Here. Cora Smith. Here. Sarah Ethelbrenner. Here. Chuck Cremers. Nikki Law. Margaret Tweeten.
Here.
Maggie Lacy. Here. Toma.
Here.
And Marissa just. She is here as well. We have a forum.
We have a form, okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is the approval of the consent agenda. Has the board had an opportunity to read over the consent agenda? And are there any questions, comments? No? Can we get a motion first motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
I can second.
Second, Cora. Okay, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All again?
So Gail, I'd like to take a minute and share with everyone that we did receive the resignation from Nikki Law. She wrote a note to myself and to Gail. And her position will be posted after this meeting is open. She has decided she's going to resign from the DDA board. She's on the board for many, 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 many years, as long as Jody, I think, so, very close to. Very close to. And she's seen the board through great growth and development. Her passion, and she's passionate, and dedication will be missed. There is a time and a season for everything, however, and she would like to move on to focus on other parts of her life, and I'm thinking her family and business at this point. Thankfully, for me and for all of us, she has agreed to stay on as chair of the Ice Fest, and we're very grateful for that. And look forward to a continued working relationship with her for many, many years. Thank you, Nikki. I don't know if you're watching, but thank you very much.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yeah.
You'll be missed.
Okay, next is public comment on any item that is not on the agenda.
Good morning. Just wanted to remind everybody that Taste of Harbor Springs is September 20th in the marina. If you haven't got tickets, so it'll be really fun. It's 30th anniversary, and we have 21 restaurants participating, which I think is a record this year. So super fun. And then also Harbor Stars, which I don't know if you were going to bring that up.
Yes, I was.
But there are many, many wonderful individuals here that are being honored, but also the DDA for beautification, mainly for the pots, but that, I mean, it's the DDA. So congratulations, we are thrilled. And Gail, you also as volunteer. So, you know, it's community, the event is community, and it reflects in the nomination. So we're looking forward to a really fun evening. We'll see all of you there. October 7th. Thank you.
Enhancement committee, yay.
Mhm.
Any other public comments, Dan?
Are you guys gonna be talking about, and good morning, are you gonna be talking about lamppost color today
Well,
later?
it will come in under the Margaret's Enhancement Committee.
Should I be posted?
I think so, because it's not on the agenda. Any other comments? Excellent. Old business is,
And
Yeah.
he is not here yet. I would suggest that we move ahead to committee reports.
Okay.
And Jeff will be here.
We'll just move agenda item 5 down because we need Jeff here to present. Okay, promotions committee report. Jody, you are up. What's happening? Yeah, I think up there.
It helps, Jody, when I
Yeah.
take the minutes.
Make sure to press the microphone button, as I have not, sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Is that good? The promotions committee met for hour and a half, maybe just a touch longer at the end of August. Skeletor update, our collaboration with the chamber. Sarah reported she's been the one in touch with Jamie Platt. And so we've left it to Jamie design and vision. That'll be right on the corner of Johann's, and so we're really looking forward to that one. Fall Festival, October 4th. I've gotten with Rachel. We've added, so she's added this year, line dancing. They were looking for an adult activity, so.
Where are they gonna do that?
Marina Park,
Oh, fun.
they'll give a few lessons and then they'll just do it's not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be that long because the festival's only 3 hours, so.
Yeah.
It'll just be it'll be a line dancing. And it's really hard to do, just. But it's a lot of fun. Small Business Saturday, Becky's working on the press release, so that went out soon, and Miss Gail and I will go around and get donation again. And keep it real social. They'll be doing a QR code for people to sign up for the prizes, so we don't have all the little slips or as we did last year, and it was a little bit difficult. So this should be very easy. So we're gonna wanna get a note out, and I know Becky's already discussed this to the shop owners as well, to help anybody that just doesn't have a phone or doesn't know how to do anything like that. So we can keep everybody included in it. Santa's workshop, we did have to table that one. Deborah from Gattle. Her son got married on Labor Day weekend, and so she was gone. So that'll be on the next agenda. We all in the promotions committee have sent our vision to her.
I just have a question afterward, properties about that.
Okay. We're leaning towards something like an antique Christmas Santa's workshop. Some ideas like old sewing machines and hammers, and of course Santa will be there. And so if anybody would like to help decorate Trevor Furby, where we're going to host this, and we'll have it 2 weekends, the 12th and the 13th, and just the 20th.
It's in, I
Yeah,
don't care, that in my head, if I do, I'll make a mistake.
okay, you don't want me to stop?
I just wanted to, I know I reached out to Trevor Furby and they agreed to let us use their facility. I just want to make sure there's a point person that is talking to Amy or Trevor and conveying what is going to happen, so they can plan on their side to move any merchandise or make sure it's ready for this to happen.
I think it's gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone.
Well, there's still stuff in there, so I just want to make
yeah.
sure. I think it's just important to talk to them directly, and whoever's the point person to start that communication. They're more than happy to chat, but since I'm not really understand the overview, I think somebody at the committee should be making contact with them. I can give you the information.
Go ahead.
Can I just have a second on that one? So my other thought is, a financial burden that maybe we hadn't thought about, but most likely the floors are gonna need to be cleaned after. I don't know what their floors in there are, if they're carpet.
They have grass.
Or thinking about putting I get like industrial rugs, I think I buy them from Uline or I bought them from Amazon, but to cover all my floors with, so my carpets don't get trashed. Sometimes by that time we don't have snow. Sometimes we have a lot of snow installed.
This is a great
Which
point.
ruins everything, and the amount of foot traffic like from open house and stuff can like ruin a floor. So just a thought, I don't know if you guys would consider that, but I think that that's
I'm
probably,
making myself a note right
yeah,
now.
something that financially we might wanna think about, adding into your guys' budget. But yeah, I think that that would be great if you just maybe put Jody in connection
Yeah.
or the group or Becky and on an email, just open a line of communication.
Yeah.
I think that would be really nice.
Yep, and I think I would put both, probably Deborah and myself as contacts,
Okay,
since Deborah has the vision, and then the promotion committee will actually be doing it all together,
great.
right, promotion committee?
Just to clarify, they,
yeah.
they have been contacted and spoken to, and they have volunteered and said they. would be-
Absolutely. I just want to make sure that we're really kind, you know, they are hands-on and they want to be part of the community. And I just think it's great that, you know, I pass that off to them to do that.
Perfect. Ice Fest, as Becky had noted, Nikki will be in charge of that, and more news to come on that very soon. Sidewalk sales, as the DDA will be taking over sidewalk sales in 2026. Becky will be sending out a merchant survey regarding a consistent date, food truck participation, additional ideas for the event, and then we said for a discussion about, is it worth adding more events? Is it worth trying to make more out of the sales itself, or sales and celebration, as it used to be called? So, more on that. And then there was the budget, where we might take some money and move it over for the Santa's workshop. And
you don't have to look at it that way. We could just put more money in certain events.
okay. Okay, so that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Do you have a date, do you have a date for Ice Fest? Because actually people are asking us for calendars, so if you have that date, that would be great. I know it's always the second. Yeah. I didn't want to give it to somebody wrong.
And that's gonna be President's Weekend.
Which always is President's Weekend, the second weekend.
Right, but it hasn't,
It
It has- it didn't last year. So I think it's going to be the 6th, 7th, and 8th, but don't.
Right.
Yeah,
We
we
can
would,
confirm
we would,
that.
Okay.
we would
Confirm
move it to get additional people in town,
Yeah.
not just for President's Weekend. But I'll
We'll
confirm
get
that.
them the information, because we know.
We'll confirm that with Nikki, but that would be my suggestion. I think 6, 7, yeah. 6, 7,
7, 8.
7, 8. All right, any other questions?
That committee doesn't usually start meeting this early, but we are going to be meeting earlier this year. They want to plan for maybe embellishing the event a little bit. So should be within a week or so.
Yeah. Everybody good? Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Jody.
Excuse me, someone's trying to get on the Zoom and they just texted me, it's not working.
It is not working.
They had some problem last night at the meeting.
The Zoom
They
is
had-
off. I have someone on Zoom.
Interesting.
Maybe because we don't have anything displayed.
Maggie, could
Or
you
that your mic
It should be
is-
someone,
Oh,
And they should
no,
be
she
able to-
said she can get on.
It's on YouTube, Sarah?
It's on YouTube. John Leo is on. I mean, the Zoom is zooming. It is up.
And they could try YouTube as well.
The YouTube link, it's also live on YouTube. And I don't have any requests to enter.
I just told her to try again.
Okay. Well, you're figuring that out. We're gonna, Margaret, share what the enhancement committee is.
So we met last week and we had quite a long and detailed presentation from Jeff Grimm, talking about the outdoor showing of goods. And he's rewritten the language, kind of simplified it and added a few basically, if you have if you own that property, should I even go into this?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
If you have public property, you own some of your property, versus, just out on the city sidewalk, you can, he's recommending to expand the area from, a 10 by 10 to a 10 by 20, I believe, foot space, wasn't that right?
That sounds right, yes.
And so it's doubling the space for someone who owns the property, and that would be somebody like, Cora, or the outfitter, or, there was one other place, I think maybe Wallstrom's or something. Or Irish, but anyway, so he was gonna make a presentation, maybe he'll still come. But it's basically the same, but just adding a little bit more space for somebody who actually owns more property to show their goods, but.
To clarify before, it did not differentiate whether or not you own your own property. It just said whatever display of out in front of your building was uniform, to like all standards. So whether or not you were on the sidewalk in the public right away, or like my building or the outfitter who has an entire parking lot and tents there, it was obviously the same laws.
So,
Margaret, in case he doesn't come,
yes,
one thing that he did ask was, if the DDA had any recommendations for things that should not be displayed.
oh, yes,
There have been problems in the past with inappropriate things on the sidewalk. That people objected to. A garbage can as part of a display one year. And he wondered if the DDA wanted to recommend to put certain items in the ordinance that could not be displayed. What he's asking for today is a recommendation to accept this language, and we would like to add any other language to it. So if he does not arrive before the end of the meeting, you have all of that in your packet. You have the old ordinance, you have the explanation from him. So if you haven't read it over, read it over, and then let me know if you have thoughts and ideas, and I can forward them to Jeff at that time. And there is a public hearing coming up. I don't have the date for that. He thought when he talked to me that it was 18th, but he's not positive. So just so you know, you are being consulted for your opinion on how to display goods in the public right of way. And then
what to restrict.
and then it will go to the public hearing, and then it will go to the planning commission for the next meeting, so. Thanks.
All right, so Becky also gave us an update on the benches, the bike racks and trash cans. There was one more bench, that was put by the library, and Ed Throckmorton has replaced the bench that was in front of the post office, and he's planning on leaving it there and still keeping the other bench. We talked about the clock. At this point, we just are feeling we want to leave it to the traditional green color that it is, that's on the corner of State and Main. We talked about sidewalk repair. We want to review the Mulder tree study and some of the things you talked about for the sidewalk. But one of the sidewalk repairs was that we hadn't looked at was in front of the American Legion. And so that's going to be looked at. John Cups is going to repair that. And there's also a section in front of the post office, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And then we were still talking about the red brick border. And I think we as a board have decided not to replace the red bricks when we replace the sidewalk.
Margaret, let me interrupt here because things happen. I remember you were late to the last meeting, board meeting, and a couple of things have happened since then. I've talked to John. He can make the fix in front of the Legion just by adding some cement, and doesn't have to pull anything out and just smooth over that lip for a few $100s. So I've added that to his list of the sidewalk repairs to make. So that will be taken care of. At the last board meeting, the board decided to go for not replacing the bricks that run along the buildings on the side of the post office. But I've been researching the background of those bricks, And I don't have anything yet that is, firm to share. I don't have, I haven't found anyone who knows the full history behind that. I have the contact number for the, property owners, Ness. I can't remember their name, but it's Ness something. And when I get that background information, I will talk with them and I will inform them. And it's possible that that could change depending on what the history of it is. So that's still kind of up in the air, and that all happened since the enhancement.
The thought of the board was to not repair
The board
a
was
small
not,
bit of brick, one section of the entire town, the more we don't plan on cohesively adding brick into all the rest of the sidewalks if we do any further sidewalk repairs where it hasn't been before. That was the reasoning for the decision.
The lamppost painting, we did receive some letters about that, but we have been, going through, we went through multiple variations on, the color that is coordinated with the wayfinding signs. And we had brought the wayfinding sign in to test it at the corner. And we found that color was gonna be too bright. So we have tried 4 more darker, 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 darker. And we're gonna try a few more variations on that to make it more of a toned down color. But we've spent a lot of time mixing, painting, going back and forth to the, Becky's gone to Petoskey multiple times. And we're gonna have to get more paint and try a few more things, but we're getting very close to, I think, finding a good color that's gonna be attractive and subtle. But the overall comments when I was painting that color, even the bright color, I can't believe how many people made comments about how they love that color. And when we were done, I just said it's way too bright, but I took a mailbox and I painted different sections of it. And I put it in my gallery, and everybody who walked in the gallery, I asked, what do you think of that color? Everybody loved the color, but they all thought, yeah, it needed to be toned down. So that's what we've been working on. The flower pots, we are still trying to figure out, did Lucas say he's gonna try to keep most?
on Monday, yes, yeah.
Okay. So the flower pots have been, I mean, we never fertilized them, and they've just been like, everybody's like, what kind of fertilizer? None.
Thank goodness we didn't.
Yeah. So at some point, we're going to pull the flowers, and Kim from Polly's Planting and Plucking is going to help plant with mums and pumpkins, and we're still figuring out what. But so we're trying to do it as a year-round thing that we'll have in the winter. We'll have evergreens and red twig dogwood and all that. Then the Merchants Walkway landscaping, did we find out if there was a water hookup
Found
yet?
out that there is not a water hookup.
Okay,
So I'm just found that out on Monday as well, so we'll, at least on the side where we wanted the hydrangeas, there is water there, but certainly don't want to be taking up concrete. It was just laid, right? There are a couple of other options, so.
okay. So it's still in the works. The lamppost globes are dirty, and so we're gonna try to combine that with when they paint the lampposts, they will take those down and clean them. Utility boxes, we're still waiting on a list of repairs, and there's a bunch of AT&T and Spectrum boxes that are broken that we have tried. I've gone to the Spectrum, 2 different repair people that were out, walked them to the corner, showed them how this thing is hanging above the ground. It's a danger, but nothing has happened yet. So we've tried.
Oh, yes, we are on their list now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we are on the list.
We talked about cigarette urns, but I think we're gonna pass on that because we're not seeing any mess of a lot of cigarette butts on the ground. And we have wanted to review the Dana's street and tree study, but we just have, it's just we haven't gotten to that point yet, but that is high on the priority list to try to look at trees, what we're gonna do on Main Street and the trees that are overgrown, their space, and trying to make a even opening so we can put tree grates in, so we don't have the mulch on the, I mean, this whole year was like a learning experience of what to do with those trees on Main Street primarily, because the mulch didn't stay in place. There's a rubberized stuff you can spray on the mulch, but I don't know. It might be next year when we put the mulch down, just like I don't know, like a silicone or something, that it just kind of holds it in place, but it's still permeable for the water. And then we're still talking about like the public art and facade grants and things like that. That's it.
Any questions from the public? Here.
I had heard somebody say that the flower pots were in the way of your access and looking around the corner and everything. Is that something that anyone else has heard?
Which corner?
I don't know.
Third and State.
I can address that if you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm aware that, I don't know if we discussed, I can't remember if we discussed at the committee or not. The one at Third and State, when we first put it out there, we looked very carefully and it was not obscuring anything. But then it grew so much that, now there is more of a problem. So potentially we might take those flowers out sooner than I planned. But we know that we're gonna move that one pot next year to a different location.
Yeah,
Those complaints only started, I think we've had 2 different complaints, and it was like last week.
Yeah. Because if we want to add these beautiful Christmas things, I mean, it might just be something where they get moved away from the corner or something, so we can still.
We know that one is a problem.
Thank you.
We know those won't grow.
That's above. You're not gonna have a problem. I'm gonna add, there is a cedar that is in the bigger pots. There's a 3-foot tall cedar.
There was.
That was meant to be in the year-round display, so hopefully it will be able to, because it's not had a lot of sun all summer long either, so. I don't know, we have.
When we rip all those flowers out, we'll know if those cedars survive.
Yeah.
It's the only way to know.
Maybe just the top.
It'll be, when you trim your bushes like that, what is it, Japanese way of trimming?
Like a bonsai.
Yes, bonsai, bonsai.
Any other questions or comments on the enhancement committee report? Ben.
Yeah, I sent a note to Gail, and I'm so glad to hear you guys are trying other colors. I agree with you that it was very difficult. I guess I've listened so much to all the zoning stuff and all the comments about people wanting to keep the historic charm, the historic feel of Harbor Springs, and I guess in my mind, I'm thinking the current color, darker browns or something like that might be more in keeping. But that's my opinion. That to me, in my mind, brings up a bigger issue of I know you guys are tasked with your audience is the building owners, right?
Is what? I'm sorry.
Is the building owners, your constituents or whatever. But I just feel like these are some kind of big decisions being made without input from city council or input from the rest of the community.
Well, we did talk to city council about it. We
We
went to
presented.
city council. And we
Right.
showed, go ahead, Gail.
No, Becky presented full presentation at the request
there,
of
yeah.
2 city
I
council
don't know
members.
if that was more focused on past at that point, but
I would add to that, there were 2 slides in there about color and how the color is the specified colors in the city's marketing plan. And there was a slide in there about that, and there was also a slide there about, it was photoshopped, the one that Cora did, that showed the darker slate blue, how the lampposts, how they would look on the street, 3 different scenarios of it. I don't recall that there was even one comment about the color.
There was not one comment.
I would like to make a comment about the process, especially the enhancement, because I think our committee is so relevant when it comes down to change of the downtown look and feel. And so, I think the public needs to understand that maybe on some of these subcommittees, some of these decisions are made, they're not recorded, and the only time public can make a comment is if they attend those meetings versus being on Zoom or being able to review what was said at some of these subcommittee meetings. The other voice that I've heard out there, and I did the same thing anecdotally, ask people. I didn't lead them one way. I talked to individuals that have residents downtown as well as business owners and said, you know, there's a lamppost that's painted, just give me your thoughts. There's a meeting today. I encourage them to come just to give feedback. And, you know, I had out of 10, 3 that loved blue, and the others said they would like it to see more of a European traditional look. Okay. So, and I don't think people really had an eye for anything until it was on a post, be it the color. And we're still playing with the color, going darker and darker and darker, meaning that, you know, maybe that wayfinding signs not the right for the overall look of our town, because last time we painted these posts 17 years ago. And will that blue, whatever we pick, last 17 years for the classic that we want this town to be? And so I'm just speaking from what I heard. I'm not one way or the other, but I think that our process with the enhancement committee, we do need to do, either we talk about this more and vote when we are online, so people are hearing it and people can review it, is my suggestion. Because going forward, especially with the downtown, aligning the trees, looking at the tree grates, those are some big decisions that the public needs to be involved with. And I've been attending the open houses with zoning and the planning, and it's a big deal for this town to see anything that's going to be changing. So based on what you were voted on for, you know, keeping the town classic, you know, the town speaking, and I think we have to listen to the people. So that's just my thought on going forward on a process with the enhancement committee.
May I ask one
Respond
question?
when,
And that when you say decisions are made, they're not made at the committee, that the recommend, oh, I'm sorry, can I have? Sorry.
You grab that other one.
We'll have one here. So decisions aren't made at the committee level, recommendations are made at the committee level, and the vote actually comes at the DDA, right? I mean, I'm sure that's good.
Okay. And that's a great clarification on that. I, being, you know, brought on the DDA, I wasn't really understanding the scope of this until we put it on a lamppost. And that's a learning element that I think is good for us to understand as a town.
Becky, go ahead.
I was going to just comment on the process as well. I think that this board has followed the process very, very completely. This is not an infrastructure project. It's a maintenance and beautification project that we've done. When I first came here, the board told me they wanted to see some things happen. So we looked at some sort of low-hanging fruit projects. This color change is going to be, when we get the correct shade, not that jarring. The enhancement committee, and you've been on that committee, and you're a good committee member, you come to all the meetings, and they made a recommendation to the board in January that this is the color that they wanted to use because it went with the marketing plan. The DDA had shared it in an open meeting. The whole presentation was given then. There were members of the public. It was advertised that way, and there were no comments. So I have not received comments on color all along. We did talk to council about it. We gave a presentation, did not receive comments then. It's been in the downtown newsletter, the city newsletter. So what I'm trying to tell the board is you are acting appropriately. You are sharing the information. You're making things happen the way they're meant to happen. Start at the committee level, recommend to the board. You are the downtown development authority. You're appointed by the mayor and by council to get the work done. If it's an infrastructure project, if it's something that is going to involve capital improvement money, then that definitely goes to council for approval. I would never attempt to take anything like that to fruition without going through public process. These things, when you are just adding some benches to the street, some flower pots, and changing a color, the board has every authority to be able to make that decision on their own.
And I think the public's really learning that, but I still think when looking at colors, and I don't think it's wrong to retrack. I'm not sure why we have, I know we have a contract, it's not very expensive, contracts are changed all the time. I know when you go and you're painting a bedroom or outside of a building, you take a lot of swatches, you put it out there, and then you make a decision. Looking just at a piece of paper of a swatch, we're learning that still don't know what exact color we're gonna go with based on a swatch. So I'm just saying that there is opportunity to evaluate this. That's just my thought process on it.
Cora?
I just wanted to add something. When we first started talking about this, I remember thinking that blue was slightly jarring in my mind. I understood why we wanted to add the color. I saw this picture. I invite anyone to come and look at it. Anyone on Zoom to come and look at it. It's right behind where I sit. This is a picture from the 50s, right there. It says 1950 on it. So all these letters in here refer to like the classic Harbor Springs. This is a classic Virgil Haynes Harbor Springs photo. They are like stainless steel looking, which
Silver.
is actually a silver color.
Silver.
Yeah, which is a very like similar, actually what we're doing is
This
like almost an homage to that,
that's the
but
color so far.
much more classic and slightly muted. So, I remember I saw that photo in a friend's house and I sent it to Becky immediately and I said, wow, okay, this really is,
That's good.
it's vintage, it is classic Harbor Springs. Similar tone. That's kind of like where I go is like, or similar like, shade, I guess, like even though it's a different color, similar color, like shade. So,
Well, this is even darker.
yeah, which is, I just thought was a really interesting point. So, just wanted to give my own comment on
And
that.
the other thing is, and I talked to Karen the other day, and one of the things we talked about was that when the post is all one dark color, you don't see, those lampposts are beautiful. There's so many sculpted things on them. Until I was actually painting it, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful base. And so if it's just black, it doesn't really show it off. But so anyway,
We don't have the presentation on, one second, Bob, but if anyone can see, this is this side is where we're working toward, which is, or it still will be the same total family as the brand in the sign, but it will not be as bright. And actually, well, this is, to me, it's very similar to the color that's up there. It's just on the blue side of it instead of the beige and tan side of it.
Brown, green.
Brown, green.
But we still don't know the color.
No, we don't.
Have you
We're
guys
close.
considered doing a community survey or? Don't laugh, I mean, it's dead serious.
I'm sorry, I didn't,
All the other committees and commissions do surveys to see what the town thinks and put information in the newspaper and get it out there. People don't pay attention to city meeting schedules. I think, certainly we've seen it with the zoning.
But that's their call.
well, can I address that a little bit too? Because I definitely, I very much want this to be a successful color. I do. This is not a whim. This is not, and it is paint. It's not outrageously expensive. Once it's up, I think people will love it. But I also know that I own a gallery and I know how, just in the last 3 days, 3 different colors besides this color, green, black, and charcoal were the colors that's what they needed to be. So everybody's got a different idea about color, and some people have no clue about, they don't even care. So
I just worry that if all of a sudden they're all gonna be done and people are gonna freak out.
Yeah, well, I think, Margaret, you make a great point, and I think we're on the same page. Let's get the color right of where you believe it is, and then let's look at it. I think that's good for the public to see where that vision is, and let's get the color right and look at it.
well, the color is almost there.
Okay. And so
I mean,
then we
This
can-
is, when you look at that, that is a very deep You see that, Mr. Graham?
Yeah.
It's a very deep shade. It's not a shocking, because one of these letters talked about a light blue. This is not a,
So that might have been the first one that went up. And
well,
so-
yeah.
And so,
Excuse me, go ahead.
Yes, Bob.
I just wanted to ask Elizabeth, do you have anything you'd like to say about this? You're, as a young person, got any input?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Feel free to, you're a member of this gang.
Yeah.
As we think.
I just don't really look at the lamppost.
People don't look at the.
And it is not to make them stand out.
The
It's
amount-
to make them look. And this blue is all about, we live where there are springs of water. We live on the water. It is just kind of a nod to that.
When we started doing this, I started polling people that came in my store, family members, people I knew, and asked them, hey, what color are the lampposts on Main Street? Not one person knew the answer of what color they wanted. No one. So what, black, green, there, I mean, it's a tonal brown green that is a really odd color. You have posts kind of like a
Taupey.
moss, yeah, brown. But no one actually like, they were like bright green, like it's like Kelly green. I'm like, no, black, gray.
It's called tea time. So whatever that means.
So, when I went yesterday to look at the newly painted ones, I took a picture and then I went back and so on the phone, the actual color looked like the first color.
I
It
know.
was weird. You know, I couldn't send it to someone and say, hey, look, it's a new color. It really looks the same. And I think, and I read the letter that came out that was talking about the more historical look. And there was one point in there that the color you choose, you want to be careful so that if you do have a repair of a scrape or something like that, it's not something that you have to go and tint a million different times. And so is there the color that you love out there as a finished color, you know, that comes from paint stores?
Yeah.
We'll have the formula.
Well, it's not the formula so much, but is there in a color swab, is there a color that you are really looking towards that would be easy for the public to look at?
No, because it's a custom.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
I'm
custom colors
I'm
are
gonna
great.
paint that lamppost again and again. And the thing is, when you see the color on your phone, it's not true.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because it's lit. It's just like when you print a color, it doesn't look the same as you look at it.
On your phone versus my phone versus
Yeah.
my computer versus
Yeah.
someone else's computer,
So-
always,
So
and
if you-
even someone else's eyes.
If you're looking for a silver tone, silver bluish tone, there might be a established color out there that that looks the same all the time, but light changes things.
Light definitely changes things. I mean, that's what's shocking is when I look at this in normal light, and then I take it down to that lamppost, you know, it needs to be subtle enough that it's not sticking out and that it feels neutral. And that's why we keep adding more and more black to the original color that was from the wayfinding sign. So we're not changing the color, we're just toning it down. So, Yes.
The original silver color, 40, 50 years ago.
this one,
Yeah, the original, yeah, it made them look old. It was odd.
it was odd.
Yeah,
Those look like old space things or something. Yes,
At what point do we stop asking public opinion? I think our volunteers spend a lot of time in meetings, talking to the public. Margaret is an artist. I think when we look at things like the merchants walkway unit and as John Cupp's opinion. When we look at things like this, we should ask Margaret's opinion. And Cora's opinion. Okay, Cora doesn't want to.
Well, I'm
be
not gonna
part of
color
it.
It's not my strong suit.
Yes, my question is at what point? At what point do we stop with public opinion? Because as we know. This is where we're getting into the infighting about. All sorts of topics, all sorts of discussions that go on within the city. Somebody's gonna come out and say that they wanted to move to yellow, and they know nothing about the project, where it started, and where it is at that point right there.
I spent a long time yesterday talking to multiple people about how long this has been going on. And to talk about public comment and input, when you look at the Merchants Walkway that went from a simple repair to over $1 million project that we nixed and went back to the simple repair. Everybody wants, you know, ideal, like I want this. And I mean, really, like I said, I already got like green, black and charcoal and besides blue, and how many people have already said they like the blue. So, you know, it's, yeah.
I'm just talking,
Karen.
I'm talking about how long the Merchants Walkway took. Because of the, and then to public opinion.
I think the Merchant Walkway was a very different, and again, we should learn from that too, because we spent a great amount of money on that, where it should have been much simpler. The whole public doesn't
They
see
made
it.
it simple.
I understand what that was. It's been over 2 years that we finally made it simple, but you're looking at the lamppost that goes throughout the whole town. And so public feedback, I think, is important when you have a larger exposure, because the Merchant Walkway, it really impacted the private owners of that property down there. Not many people walk that location. So to me, you know, when you say, you know, when do you say public feedback's not important? Look what happened to zoning. We had to go and they went out and got petitions. They went and pulled it all back. We're spending another year and a half going through zoning line by line. So I do think that we have to listen to the public when it is exposure throughout the whole town. So I think we have to be very careful when we dismiss the public on their opinion.
Well, we both, the DDA and the public have responsibility in this, right? We have the responsibility to host meetings that are open to the public. We have the responsibility, as we're in the streets talking to people all the time, that is our responsibility. And to listen, we have to listen. But so does the public. We have meetings that are available, we have committee meetings that are available, we have DDA meetings that are available. And so we both share in this sharing of information and the listen. And I agree with that. I don't agree with surveys and all that. I just don't think they're productive. But we both need to do what we can do to become educated in whatever is going on.
Karen.
The whole situation has changed over the years. Used to be you elected a city council and a mayor or committees or commissions to represent you because you couldn't have input from 6,000 people. Well, that's changed. Now 6,000 people want to have input. It's flopped 180 from, let's say, 100 years ago.
Karen.
No, I was gonna go on the plate.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with, is it Karen? In terms of trying to find a standard color without a lot of mixing. Because if over the years, you're going to have to touch this up for what, 10, 15 years. You never know if that formula is going to be exactly the same. And so your touch up may end up having to repaint the whole pole. And I know this, you know, from history of painting, that it's better to try to find a standard, you know, Sherwin-Williams or whatever color that you pick, as opposed to formulas and mixing and mixing. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't mix that way anymore. Everything is custom when you buy, you know, even the standard like Bar Harbor blue, you know, it depending on the paint company. So no, there'll be a specific list of what is in the paint, and it's an epoxy paint.
Match when you redo it on another occasion.
Well, sometimes they fade too.
I just went up to the paint store And they matched 10-year-old paint on the outside of my house from a sample where I painted. I defy any human being to go look and tell me where it was repainted. The match is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the one thing too, I don't want to lose focus of what, we're getting into process, future process, who we involve, who we don't. Right now, we have approved the decision, no one has come forward with any negative comments. We did present, and all the information on process is good, and it's good for us to hear. And involving the public when it's necessary and needed, I don't think we have any problem with that. But for this discussion, I want to stay on task here with looking at the question, not process question, but the questions about the report that Margaret presented.
Yeah. I could reassure some people about
Right.
the non-custom color. I don't like to bring this up, but I was in Petoskey for 20 years and their complete paint has the formula for Petoskey green. It's been the same for 20 years and that's what it is. And they keep it there. Complete paint has labeled our paint can Harbor Blue. So we'll be able to get that paint forever. And like Bob said, they have great technology now to match colors.
Karen,
So yeah, I mean, point taken. And you could be wrong, everybody could be wrong, but the comment about at what point do we stop asking the public? I think that if we can't put hydrangeas back in the merchant's walkway, then we really didn't think long and hard about water access. And so these little details, they just, they come to you out of the blue or from a person or something. So I think keeping people involved and encouraging it is great.
I agree. Those that come to meetings, like you, Karen, that.
But, I mean, I came to the meeting, but I didn't figure out where the water was, but you said John Cups. You go to a professional like that, but so we need to task the professionals with looking at the whole picture, not just, laying some time.
Well, what I'll ask now is there shouldn't be interaction between the public. So speak, if you would put your comments to us, that'd be great.
I'm sorry.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Are there any other, I'm sorry.
Just one thing, so the bike racks are black, there's garbage cans that are green, the weekly style lights are dark green. The parking lot of Gurney's are another green, out here are green lights. I just am asking for some sort of consistency in color. It's color here, this color there, that color. And maybe more of a structured plan where it's all gonna be green and black or whatever colors, just so there's consistency throughout town in the coloring. And then I just have a letter that Ty Humbert sent. And
we all have that.
We all have that, yes. Great. Okay.
Becky, you want to answer that?
Yes, there are some green cans on the trash cans on the sidewalks right now that were put out to carry the overflow for the summer. They will be painted this fall and they'll be black when they go out again next spring. Unless we order more and they get moved, but all the trash cans will be black, all the bike racks will be black. The only thing that will be the accent is this dark slate blue that would be on the lamppost. The weekly lights that you're talking about will be painted this blue as well. So the green will be gone and the green will be gone. So you'll be looking at dark slate blue and black.
So those new lamp posts that were just put in now have to spend more money to paint them.
They were all
Unfortunately,
banged up.
damaged when they were installed, so they were gonna have to be repainted either way.
And they're rusting.
Because of the damage that happened on installing, which is just, there's nothing we can really do about that. I mean, I didn't install personally, so otherwise I would take the fault for damaging them.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll get back Becky, we'll just go through your director's report.
Okay. Fill in different papers out here, hold on. Okay, first I wanted to mention that it's been a pretty successful summer business-wise as we get reports from the business people downtown. Gail is working on business interviews and she's collecting a lot of hard data that we will be able to share. I think she's nearly done with that, and this helps for business recruitment, helps for marketing initiatives. And thank you, Gail, a lot for doing that. You are good at that. Margaret, we referred to the fact we have a new bench sponsor, and it's Marcia Ames. She's Molly from the Outfitter's mother. That's how she describes herself. The bench is, she is already here. It's sitting next to the library, and her husband is in memory of her husband who said, learn something new every day. And that's what's going to be on the plaque of the bench, is learn something new every day. I did send out a fall newsletter this week, and I've been busy working on these beautification projects. Still working on the landscape for Merchants Walkway, expect to have it in the way we want it. We're planning for the fall flower pot, design and planning, lots of planning for Downtown Day and Santa's Workshop. There will be a budget presentation in October, the first time that we look at a budget. It will be formatted from what the committee has told me they would like to work on next year. We'll look at it for the first time in October, and we'll want to approve it in November so that it can go to the full budgeting process and go to City Council at their December meeting. We want to be on time for that. So be prepared. I'll get information to you. You're pretty much aware of the things that the committees have been talking about. I don't expect any big surprises. So and then Bonnie deservedly stole my thunder. But we were it's her show, so she got it. But
We're just excited.
But I was thrilled to see that we were nominated. We're up against some stiff competition, but for the beautification award, and Gail certainly deserves to be nominated for the Volunteer of the Year award.
Amen to that.
Or maybe the century, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that the DDA should have a table at the occasion, as festivities.
All-stars, yeah.
So please get with me. There is money in our budget, so that get with me if you would like to come, and then we'll make a reservation. Okay, I got one.
It's October
7th,
Seven.
Tuesday night, October 7th.
Hopefully I'll be walking by then.
Yes.
Carry you.
We'll carry you.
We'll carry you.
Getting a new. It's Wednesday.
You'll be walking the next day.
It's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
fun, right, Sarah?
I think that's all I had, unless you have questions.
Any questions? No? Any board member comments before we adjourn?
Do we need to make a recommendation based off of Jeff's?
Not showing up.
I'd be happy to carry anything to him that you have.
I mean, I honestly think I would prefer to have him here for a discussion. To answer questions and for clarification purposes. Yeah.
Forgot.
I just think that I would prefer that.
Well, Becky runs out. One thing I want to make sure everybody knows that we dedicated that evening to the individuals and the organizations that helped with the ice storm cleanup, et cetera. So the city, the fire department, the police department, and we are working on getting table sponsors for each of those groups so that the real individuals who are out working are the ones who get to come and hear the applause. So, and if you did not get the opportunity to vote, that goes to people who get our newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, sign up for it and we'll send you the opportunity to vote. So, but we're really excited. It really came out of how do we do this? We would be, I mean, everybody got nominated in every category for all of their work during the ice storm. And the community also should be celebrated. And we said, we can pull this off and do both. And so I love that the whole evening is dedicated to them. And so come celebrate them with nothing else.
Just a second, what I was just saying, I would honestly say that if, I don't know, we've tried to have Jeff meet with us, maybe we need to call a special meeting in order to have a discussion
We'll
about
have
this,
to
because
follow
I know, I'm not sure what his timeline sensitivity is on having us make a motion. I mean, I'd be happy to make a motion. but I also feel like maybe the rest of everyone would like some clarifications and to be able to ask him some questions.
Okay, you've been in Europe, so you missed your first committee meeting, so you were not at the enhancement committee, so, Maggie, Margaret and Gail all heard a long presentation from him.
Yep.
And I think they don't probably need any more information in order to make a recommendation. Jeff did say at that time, because this affects you, one of the few businesses that it affects, he would be happy to have a sit down with
And
you.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, I have no problem with, making a motion, but I also don't wanna make a motion because it does affect me. And I don't even know if I should be recusing myself from the vote because it literally 100% affects me personally. I just was talking about the rest of the board here.
So a special meeting, I guess if you wanted to. have a
I mean, and
special meeting,
I'm not saying that I need it, but I just don't know how the rest of the board feels, and I also don't know if we need to make a decision today.
He went through it
Yeah,
with fine tooth comb, did it on the last meeting.
Does someone ready to make a motion, or do we need to make a
But
recommendation?
the only thing that we have to come up with, I think, is if we wanna add any
Thing
of
we
the
don't.
displays,
that aren't allowed.
trash can. I think
And-
instead of bear on them or something.
I mean, that would be hard
Yeah, it
because
would be.
you could, the list would just keep going,
Yeah.
no underwear, no la 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 la, you know?
Yeah.
So
And that's fine, I just wanted to clarify if we needed to make it.
I think what he clarified, I'd be happy to make a motion that we go with his proposal of his new recommendation.
The lot cleaner than the old one. I mean.
Rather than the
yeah,
old
the way
one,
you
yeah.
worded it.
That it's just basically, it boils down to if you own the property, then you get double the space. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. So,
Okay,
That would be my recommendation to you, and then for a follow-up.
No, yeah, I have no problem with it. Like I said, I don't feel like I necessarily need to, I'm completely okay with it, but I also, because it really does affect my business personally, don't know if like I should be involved in making any sort of recommendation. I don't know if I feel like that's appropriate. But yes, I mean, I absolutely think it all sounds wonderful, so.
Yeah, you could ask for consensus.
just ask for consensus. Okay. Yeah, so just, yeah,
And I will recuse.
yep.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So we will, you'll present the, new permit for outdoor display equipment that you sent us and discussed with them. Okay, well, it is 9:05. Are there any other comments or questions before we adjourn? Thanks. It is 9:05. We will adjourn the DDA meeting.